Captain Daeho Kim stood at the wide window of the TSS Vengeance, looking out at the endless stars. His ship was the fastest in Earth's fleet, built for one purpose: to hunt down those who had betrayed humanity. 6 years ago, aliens called the Nexus Collective had attacked Earth. They came without warning. 3 billion people died. Cities burned. For a time, it seemed like the end of humanity. But humans fought back. They found new ways to fight. They built better weapons. They refused to give up. And in the end, against all odds, humans won. The Nexus Collective retreated to the far edges of the galaxy, beaten and surprised by human strength. The war was over. People cheered in the streets. They began to rebuild. Then came the discovery that changed everything. The attack had not been random. The aliens had help from humans. Traitors had given the enemy Earth's defense plans, maps of major cities, and ways to disable Earth's weapons. These traitors thought humanity needed to be tested by fire even if billions died. When the public found out, rage spread across Earth and all human colonies. The hunt began. "Captain, we've found another one," said Lieutenant Jisoo Park, looking up from her screen. Her voice pulled Daeho from his thoughts. Daeho turned away from the stars. "Who?" "Dr. Yoonmi Choi, former scientist from Seoul. She worked on human DNA research before the war," Jisoo said. "She's hiding on a planet in the Proxima Centauri system." Commander Sun-Woo Lee walked over, a tablet in his hand. A long scar ran down the side of his face, a reminder of a battle he barely survived. "That makes 17 traitors we know are still alive, 17 out of the 50 who caused the war." "What do we know about this Dr. Choi?" Daeho asked. Jisoo tapped her screen. "She disappeared 2 days before the first attack, took research files with her. Intelligence says she's built a lab on Proxima Centauri IV. The planet has poison air and high gravity. Not many go there." Daeho nodded. "Perfect place to hide." "There's more," Sun-Woo added. "The signal we caught suggests she's working on something big, something called Project Genesis." The ship's computer spoke through the room's speakers. "Captain, I found records of Dr. Choi's work before the war. She was studying ways to change human DNA to help people survive on other planets." "So she was interested in helping humans spread to the stars," Daeho said. "Why betray us to aliens who wanted to wipe us out?" The question hung in the air. None of them had a good answer. The traitors' reasons never made sense to those who had fought to save Earth. "How long to reach Proxima Centauri?" Daeho asked. 3 days at top speed," answered Navigator Hyun-Ki Cho from his station. "Set the course," Daeho ordered, "and call the team to the meeting room. We need to plan this carefully." An hour later, Daeho stood before his elite team. Maps and images of Proxima Centauri IV filled the screens around them. "This won't be easy," Daeho said. "The planet's gravity is 1.3 times Earth's. The air will kill you in minutes without a mask, and the terrain is mostly sharp rocks and deep canyons." Sergeant Ha-Jun Kang, their weapons expert, studied the maps. "Any defenses around her lab?" "Sensors show energy shields and some automated guns," Sun-Woo replied. "Nothing we haven't dealt with before, but we can't be careless." Medical Officer Min Ji-yoon raised her hand. "What's our goal? Capture or kill?" A heavy silence fell over the room. The question always came up. The government wanted traitors brought back for public trials. But sometimes things didn't go as planned. "Capture," Daeho said firmly. "Dr. Choi knows things about this Project Genesis, about the other traitors. We need that information." Ha-Jun nodded, but his eyes were cold. His family had died when Seoul was hit in the first wave of attacks. For him, the hunt was personal. "We go in with non-lethal weapons first," Daeho continued. "Stun guns and sleep gas. Lethal force only if necessary. Understood?" Everyone nodded. "One more thing," Daeho added. "There are rumors that the Nexus Collective still protects these traitors. Be ready for anything." Dismissed. As the team filed out, Sun-Woo stayed behind. He and Daeho had been friends since their days at the academy, before the war changed everything. "You look tired," Sunwoo said. Daeho sighed. 16 missions so far, 16 traitors tracked down, and still I don't understand why they did it. Sunwoo leaned against the table. "Does it matter? They helped kill 3 billion people." "It matters," Daeho said. "If we don't understand why, how can we be sure it won't happen again?" Sunwoo had no answer for that. The 3 days passed quickly. The crew prepared their gear, studied the maps, and ran simulations of the mission. The TSS Vengeance moved silently through space, its advanced engines barely making a sound. On the 3rd day, Daeho was in his quarters, looking at an old photo. His wife and daughter smiled back at him from the screen. They had lived in New York. Both died in the first wave of attacks. A soft beep broke the silence. "Captain," came Jisoo's voice over the comm, "we've entered the Proxima Centauri system, but there's something strange." "On my way," Daeho said, putting the photo away. When he reached the bridge, everyone was staring at the main screen. "What am I looking at?" Daeho asked. "Ships," Sunwoo answered. "A lot of them, in orbit around Proxima Centauri 4. The screen showed at least 20 vessels of various sizes. None were human designs. None were Nexus Collective either. "Unknown origin," Jisoo reported. "They're not responding to standard hails." "Have they seen us?" Daeho asked. "No, sir. We're still at stealth range." Daeho studied the ships. They were clustered around one area of the planet, likely where Dr. Choi's lab was located. "What's happening down there?" he wondered aloud. As if in answer, their sensors beeped. "Energy spike from the planet's surface," reported Officer Taewon Baek. "It's huge." A bright light flashed from the planet, visible even from space. Then, one by one, the unknown ships began to move away from the planet, forming a line. "They're leaving?" Sunwoo said. "No," Daeho replied, his eyes narrowing. "They're escorting something." A new ship rose from the planet's surface, larger than the others. Its design was like nothing they had seen before. Part machine, part something else. Something alive. "What is that?" Jisoo whispered. "The result of Project Genesis, I think," Daeho said grimly. "Scan that ship. I want to know what's on it." The scans took only seconds. When the results came in, Minji gasped. "The ship is organic," she said. "Partly, at least. And it's carrying thousands of life forms. The readings are strange. Not fully human, not alien either." "Hybrids," Daeho said, the word bitter in his mouth. "Dr. Choi was creating hybrids. But why?" Sunwoo asked. "And where are they going?" Daeho watched as the strange fleet prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed. "We're going to find out," he said. "Prepare to follow them. But first, send a message to Earth. They need to know what we've found." As the crew rushed to their stations, Daeho kept his eyes on the bizarre fleet. The hunt for traitors had just become something much bigger and much more dangerous. The war, it seemed, was not really over. It was just changing shape. And this time, the enemy wasn't just aliens from another world. It was something built from humanity's own betrayal. "We can't follow them," Sunwoo said, his voice tight with frustration. "Not all of them. There are too many ships jumping to different places." Daeho stood on the bridge of the TSS Vengeance, watching as the strange fleet split into smaller groups. Each group jumped to light speed, heading to different parts of the galaxy. "Track the main ship," Daeho ordered. "The big one that came from the planet. That's where Dr. Choi will be." "Yes, sir," Navigator Hyun-Ki replied, his fingers moving quickly over the controls. "Preparing to follow." "Wait," Jisoo called out. "One ship is still in orbit, small transport vessel." Daeho looked at the screen. She was right. A small ship remained, hovering over the area where Dr. Choi's lab had been. Why would they leave one behind? Sunwoo wondered. "Maybe they didn't," Daeho said, his mind racing. "Maybe it's damaged, or maybe—" "It's heading down to the planet," Taewon announced from his station. Daeho made a quick decision. Change of plans. We're going to the planet. Dr. Choi might still be there, or at least some answers about Project Genesis. What about the main fleet? Sun Wu asked. Send a probe to follow it, Dae-ho replied. Right now, we need to see what's on that planet. 2 hours later, Dae-ho led a team of 6 people down to the surface of Proxima Centauri 4. They wore heavy exosuits to protect them from the toxic air and high gravity. Each step was harder than on Earth, even with the suits helping them. Energy. Readings are coming from that mountain, Ha-jun said, pointing to a jagged peak ahead. The sergeant moved with ease despite the difficult conditions. His training as a Special Forces soldier showed. That's where the lab should be, Sun Wu confirmed. And where that small ship landed. The landscape around them was harsh, sharp, rocks, deep cracks in the ground, and strange plants that seemed to move when no one was looking directly at them. The sky was a dark orange color, with 2 small moons visible even in daylight. Stay alert, Dae-ho warned. We don't know what defenses are left. They moved carefully toward the mountain. No automated guns fired at them. No alarms sounded. The silence was strange. Too quiet. Ha-jun muttered, his hand on his weapon. When they reached the base of the mountain, they found a large metal door. Built into the rock, it stood open. Someone left in a hurry, Minji observed. Or wants us to come in, Sun Wu added. Dae-ho checked his weapon. Stay in formation. Ha-jun, take point. Minji and Taiwan in the middle. Sun Wu and Jisoo with me at the rear. They entered the mountain lab, lights from their suits cutting through the darkness. The first room was large and empty except for broken equipment scattered on the floor. Looks like they took what they needed and destroyed the rest, Ha-jun said. They moved deeper into the facility. More rooms, more broken equipment. But no, people, not even bodies. Then they reached a large central chamber. Unlike the other rooms, this one still had power. Lights glowed softly from the ceiling. Screens lined the walls, some still showing data. And in the center of the room stood a single large container like a giant glass tube filled with glowing blue liquid. What is that? Jisoo asked, moving closer. Careful, Dae-ho warned. Minji approached the tube, scanner in hand. It's growing something. The liquid is a nutrient bath like what we use to grow replacement organs, but this is much more advanced. Taewon moved to one of the working screens. I can access some files. They're not all deleted. Do it, Dae-ho ordered. We need to know what this place was for. While Taewon worked, Ha-jun signaled from a doorway on the far side of the room. Captain, you need to see this. Dae-ho followed Ha-jun through the doorway into a smaller room. Inside was a body, the first they had found. A man in a lab coat lay on the floor, a small wound on his chest. Shot once, Ha-jun said. Clean kill, professional. Dae-ho knelt beside the body. The man looked Korean, maybe 50 years old. A name tag on his lab coat read, Dr. Q Bae, not one of our known. Traitors, Dae-ho said. Must have been working for Dr. Choi. Sir, Jisoo called from the main room. Taewon found something. They returned to the central chamber. Taewon had managed to get more screens working. It's all here, he said, his voice shaking slightly. Project Genesis, Dr. Choi's work, it's hard to believe. The screens showed images of human DNA strands being combined with something alien. Charts tracked the progress of experiments. Video clips showed test subjects, humans, changing, their bodies transforming in ways that seemed impossible. They were changing humans, Minji said, her medical training helping her understand the data. Making them able to survive in any environment. No need for ships with life support. No need for exosuits like these we're wearing. They could live directly on any planet in space, maybe even inside stars. Super soldiers, Ha-jun said grimly. No, Minji shook her head. More than that. A new species. Not fully human anymore. Dae-ho felt cold despite his suit's temperature controls. And that ship we saw? It was full of these new beings? Thousands of them, Sun Wu confirmed, looking at the data. And they've been working on this for years. since before the war. The war was just a distraction, Deho realized, or a test, to see how humans would react under extreme pressure to identify the strongest among us. A new voice spoke from behind them. "Very good, Captain Kim. You're smarter than they said you would be." They all turned, weapons raised. A woman stood in the doorway they had come through. She wore no exosuit despite the toxic air and crushing gravity. Her skin had a slight blue tint, and her eyes were larger than normal, completely black. "Dr. Choi," Deho said, recognizing her from the files, though she looked different now. "Changed." She smiled. "What's left of her? I've evolved, Captain. As all humanity must evolve to survive what's coming." "You betrayed Earth," Sunwoo said, his gun aimed at her head. "You helped the Nexus Collective kill billions." "No," she replied calmly. "The Nexus was just a tool. We needed to push humanity to its limits to prepare you. The weak died, the strong survived and became stronger. And now the next phase begins." "What next phase?" Deho demanded. "What are you planning?" Dr. Choi looked at each of them in turn. "Why do you think I stayed behind? Why do you think I let you find this place? I chose you, Captain Kim. You and your crew. You're perfect for the next stage of evolution." The tube in the center of the room began to pulse with light. The blue liquid inside bubbled and moved as if alive. "What is that?" Deho asked, stepping back. "The future," Dr. Choi answered. "Your future. All of humanity's future." The liquid in the tube rose up, defying gravity. It formed tentacles that reached toward the glass walls. "We need to go," Hajun said urgently. "Now." But Dr. Choi moved to block the exit. Despite her small size, there was something terrifying about her now, something inhuman. "No one leaves," she said. "The transformation has already begun." As if on cue, the facility shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Warning alarms began to sound. "What did you do?" Deho demanded. "This facility will be gone in 10 minutes, Dr. Choi said calmly. "And you will all be reborn. The perfect soldiers for what comes next." Hajun didn't wait. He fired his weapon. The shot hit Dr. Choi in the chest, but she didn't fall. The wound closed almost instantly. "Run," Deho ordered. "Find another way out." As his team scrambled to escape, Deho faced Dr. Choi. "Whatever you're planning, we'll stop you." She smiled again, her teeth now visibly sharper. "No, Captain, you'll help us, one way or another." The facility shook again, harder this time, and the blue liquid in the tube began to crack the glass that held it. The blue liquid burst from the tube. It moved like it was alive, reaching toward them with glowing tendrils. "Move!" Deho shouted, pushing his team toward a side passage. Hajun fired at the ceiling above Dr. Choi, causing rocks to fall and block her path. "That won't stop her for long," Sunwoo said as they ran through the narrow tunnel. "It doesn't need to," Deho replied. "We just need enough time to get out and call the ship." The tunnel sloped upward. They hoped it would lead to the surface. Behind them, they heard strange sounds, part human scream, part something else. Dr. Choi was not happy. "The facility is going to explode," Taiwan reminded them, checking a small device on his wrist. 8 minutes left. They reached a fork in the tunnel. 2 paths. "Split up?" Sunwoo suggested. Deho shook his head. "No, we stay together." He looked at both tunnels. "Jisoo, which way?" Jisoo pulled out a scanner. "Left tunnel has air movement. Might lead outside." "Left it is," Deho decided. They moved as fast as they could in the heavy gravity. The exosuits helped, but they were still slow. Too slow. 6 minutes, Taiwan reported. The tunnel grew steeper. They had to climb in some places. Minji slipped once, but Hajun caught her before she fell. 5 minutes. They could feel the ground shaking more often now. The whole facility was becoming unstable. "There!" Sunwoo pointed ahead. A small circle of orange light. An exit. 4 minutes. They climbed faster. The exit was small, barely big enough for a person to squeeze through, and it was still 50 meters up a steep slope. "You go first," Daeho told Minji. Then Jisoo and Taewon. Sunwoo, Hajun, and I will cover the rear. As Minji started climbing, they heard it, a wet, sliding sound from behind them. The blue liquid was following them through the tunnel. 3 minutes. Minji reached the exit and squeezed through. Jisoo was halfway there. Taewon right behind her. The liquid moved faster now, forming a wave that rose higher and higher in the tunnel. 2 minutes. Captain, we need to move, Hajun urged. Go, Daeho ordered him. I'll be right behind you. Jisoo and Taewon made it through the exit. Sunwoo and Hajun climbed quickly toward it. The liquid reached Daeho's feet. It tried to grab his suit. He kicked it away and started climbing. His suit felt heavier with each step. 1 minute. Sunwoo made it out. Then Hajun. Daeho was still 10 meters from the exit when he felt the liquid catch his leg. It began to seep into his suit, finding tiny cracks in the material. Captain, Sunwoo called, reaching down through the exit. Daeho climbed with all his strength. The liquid was inside his suit now, cold against his skin. He reached up and grabbed Sunwoo's hand. With one mighty pull, Sunwoo and Hajun dragged him through the exit. 30 seconds. They ran from the small hole in the mountainside, moving as fast as they could across the rocky ground. The ship is sending a shuttle, Jisoo reported, checking her comm device. 2 minutes out. We don't have 2 minutes, Sunwoo said. They kept running, putting as much distance as they could between themselves and the mountain. 10 seconds. Taewon counted down. 9, 8. They dove behind a large rock formation. 3, 2, 1. The mountain exploded. The sound was deafening even through their helmets. The ground shook so hard they could barely stay on their feet. Rocks and debris flew in all directions, some hitting their cover. When the dust began to settle, they looked out. Where the mountain had been was now a smoking crater. Is everyone okay? Daeho asked, checking his team. They all nodded, though they looked shaken. Captain, Minji said, pointing at his suit. Your leg. Daeho looked down. A small amount of the blue liquid was still on his suit, still trying to get inside. Hajun quickly used a laser tool to burn it off. Did any get inside? Minji asked, concerned. I don't think so, Daeho said, but he wasn't sure. His leg felt strange. Cold. The shuttle from the TSS Vengeance appeared in the sky above them. It landed nearby and they quickly boarded. Back on the ship in the medical bay, Minji examined Daeho's leg. I don't see any sign of the liquid, she said. But I'm going to take some blood samples just to be sure. Daeho nodded. What about the others? All clear, she replied. No signs of contamination. Sunwoo entered the medical bay. The probe we sent after the main ship has sent back data. You need to see this. In the command center, the team gathered around the main screen. The probe had followed the large organic ship to a distant star system. That's the Arcturus system, Yunki said, far from any human colonies. The screen showed images of a massive space station orbiting the fourth planet in the system. At least 30 of the strange ships had docked there. That station wasn't there 6 months ago when a trade ship passed through, Taewon noted. They built it fast, Sunwoo said. Too fast for normal construction. Because it's not normal construction, Daeho realized. Look at the surface. It's growing, not built. He was right. Parts of the station were visibly expanding like a living thing. And look at those energy readings, Jisoo added. That's 10 times what our biggest station produces. What are they doing there? Sunwoo wondered. Preparing, Daeho said. Doctor, Choi said this was just the beginning, the next phase. Phase of what? Hajun asked. I don't know, Daeho admitted, but we need to find out, and we need to warn Earth. He turned to his communications officer. Taewon, send all this data to Earth Command. Mark it highest priority. Yes, sir, Taewon replied, moving to his station. Minji entered the command center, a worried look on her face. Captain, I got the results from your blood test. There's something you need to see. Daeho followed her back to the medical bay. On a screen there, she showed him his blood sample. Among the normal red blood, cells were tiny blue dots. What is that? He asked, though he already knew. The liquid, she confirmed. A very small amount, but it's there. It's in your bloodstream. Can you remove it? She shook her head. It's bonding with your cells, changing them, but very slowly. It's nothing like what happened to Dr. Choi, but it's similar, just much weaker. Daeho sat down, trying to process this. What will happen to me? I don't know, Minji admitted. I'll monitor it closely. For now you seem fine. No symptoms. But I can't promise it will stay that way. Before Daeho could respond, the ship's alarms blared. Captain to the bridge, Sun Woo's voice came over the comm. We've got company. Daeho and Minji rushed to the bridge. On the main screen they saw 5 ships approaching. They were small and fast, with the same partly organic design they had seen before. They found us, Sun Woo said. They must have tracked the probe. Battle. Stations, Daeho ordered. Prepare defensive systems. The crew moved quickly to their positions. Sir, Taewon called out. We're receiving a transmission from the lead ship. Put it on screen, Daeho commanded. The screen changed to show a face. It was Admiral Junho Park, one of the highest ranking, Traitors, a man they had been hunting for years. But like Dr. Choi, he looked different now. His skin had a greenish tint, and his eyes were larger, darker. Captain Kim, the Admiral said, his voice deeper than Daeho remembered. I'm glad Dr. Choi found you. Did you enjoy her little gift? What did she do to me? Daeho demanded. The Admiral smiled, showing teeth that were no longer fully human. She chose you, Captain, as I chose all the others. The best of humanity selected to lead us into the next era. We'll never help you, Daeho said firmly. You already are, Admiral Park replied. The liquid in your blood is just the beginning. It's sending us data right now. Everything you see, everything you know, is coming to us. Daeho felt cold fear grip him. They were using him as a spy. Now, the Admiral continued, you have a choice. Come with us willingly to the Arcturus station and complete your transformation, or we take you by force. Either way, you will join us. The 5 enemy ships moved closer, weapons ready. Daeho looked at his crew. Their faces showed determination, not fear. They would fight if he gave the order. What will it be, Captain? Admiral Park asked. The easy way or the hard way? Daeho's mind raced. The liquid in his blood meant he was compromised, but it might also be their only chance to learn the Traitors' full plan. I need time to consider your offer, he said finally. You have 1 hour, the Admiral replied. Then we do this our way. The screen went dark. Orders, sir? Sun Woo asked. Daeho stood straight, his decision made. Prepare the ship for battle, and get me Earth Command on a secure channel. We're going to need help. The hunt for traitors had become a fight for humanity's future, and now Daeho was caught in the middle, part of both sides whether he wanted to be or not. Earth Command will send help, Sun Woo said, but not in time. The nearest fleet is 3 days away. Daeho nodded. He had expected this. After the war, humanity's ships were spread thin across the galaxy. Can we outrun them? He asked, looking at the 5 enemy ships on the screen. Hyun-Ki shook his head. Not all 5. Maybe 1 or 2, but they're faster than they look. Daeho considered their options. Fighting was risky. Running might not work. Surrendering was not an option. Sir, Minji said quietly, there's something else you should know about the liquid in your blood. It's changing, growing faster now that it's near the other ships, like it's responding to them. Daeho felt a cold sensation in his leg where the liquid had entered. Is it dangerous? Not yet, she answered. But I don't know how long that will last. An idea formed in Daeho's mind. A dangerous one. What if we use it, he suggested. If the liquid connects me to them, maybe I can learn what they're planning. Too risky, Sun Woo objected. We don't know what it might do to you. We don't have many options, Daeho replied. And we need information. After a moment of thought, Sun Woo nodded. What's your plan? I'll tell Admiral Park I want to talk. Buy us some time. Meanwhile, I want Taewon to scan those ships for weaknesses. Hajun, prepare our weapons, but don't make it obvious, and Minji, I need you to monitor the liquid in my blood. If it starts to change me in any dangerous way, you tell me immediately. Yes, sir, they all answered. Open a channel to the Admiral, Daeho ordered. Admiral Park's face appeared on screen again. His inhuman features seemed even more pronounced. Now, have you made your decision, Captain? The Admiral asked. I want to know more, Daeho said. About Project Genesis, about what you're planning, before I decide. The Admiral smiled. Wise choice. Curiosity was always one of your strengths. Daeho, very well, I'll show you. The screen changed to show the space station they had seen in the probe's data, but now they could see inside it. Thousands of pods lined the walls, each containing a person, or what used to be a person. This is the future, Admiral Park's voice explained. A new human form able to survive anywhere, able to communicate across vast distances with just a thought. The image changed to show a star map of the galaxy. Hundreds of red dots appeared across it. The Nexus Collective was just the beginning, the Admiral continued. There are other species out there, older, more powerful. They've been watching us for centuries, and soon they will come. Why would they come to Earth? Daeho asked. Resources, living space, the same reasons humans fight each other, but on a galactic scale. The screen returned to Admiral Park's face. Humanity cannot win a conventional war against them, he said. We proved that with the Nexus Collective. Even with our victory, we lost 3 billion people. The next enemy will be 100 times stronger. So you're helping them? Daeho asked, anger in his voice. No, Daeho. We're evolving humanity to survive them, to become something they cannot destroy. Something beyond flesh, beyond machines. A perfect blend of both. As the Admiral spoke, Daeho felt the cold sensation in his leg spreading slowly up his body. Minji noticed it too, her eyes widening as she checked her medical scanner. And the cost? Daeho asked, trying to keep the Admiral talking. Billions. Dead in the war you helped start? A necessary sacrifice, Admiral Park replied, showing no remorse. The weak died so the strong could evolve. It's nature's way. You understand this, Daeho? You're a soldier. You've sent people to die for the greater good. Daeho's hands tightened into fists. Not billions. Not without their choice. Choices. The Admiral scoffed. What do individual choices matter when the entire species is at risk? We did what was necessary, and now you will too. Behind Daeho, Sun Wu signaled silently. Taewon had found something, a weakness in the enemy ships. Their organic parts were vulnerable to certain energy frequencies. Your hour is nearly up, Captain, Admiral Park said. Come willingly, or we take you by force. Daeho stood straight. I have one more question, Admiral. These beings you're turning humans into, are they still human at all? Do they still have free will? The Admiral's face changed slightly. A flicker of something. Doubt? They are beyond human, he said. Beyond the limitations of individual thought. They are connected, part of something greater. So that's a no, Daeho concluded. They're not free. They're slaves. They are evolved, the Admiral snapped. Your time is up, Captain. What is your answer? Daeho felt the cold sensation reach his chest. Minji's scanner was beeping softly, warning that the changes were accelerating. My answer is this, Daeho said firmly. Humanity will decide its own future. Not you. Not some alien threat. We will face whatever comes as humans, not as whatever you're turning people into. He nodded to Hajun, who pressed a button on his console. The TSS Vengeance fired its weapons, not standard lasers, but a special frequency that Taewon had calculated. The beams hit the organic parts of the enemy ships, causing them to writhe as if in pain. All power to engines, Daeho ordered. Get us out of here. The ship lurched forward, pushing past the damaged enemy vessels. Behind them, 3 of the 5 ships were crippled, their organic components failing. They can't follow us, Taewon reported. But the other 2 are still coming. Keep going, Daeho commanded. Set course for the nearest human outpost. As the ship raced away, Daeho collapsed to one knee. The cold had spread throughout his body now. "Captain." Sun Wu rushed to his side. "Get him to medical," Minji ordered. "Now." In the medical bay, Daeho lay on a bed, his body shaking. The blue liquid was spreading through his veins, visible now through his skin. "Can you stop it?" Sun Wu asked Minji. "I'm trying," she said, injecting Daeho with various treatments. "But it's fighting back, adapting." Daeho grabbed Sun Wu's arm. If I become like them, you have to stop me. Promise me." Sun Wu nodded grimly. "I promise. But it won't come to that, we'll find a way." Suddenly, Daeho's body arched in pain, his eyes flew open, glowing with a blue light. "I can hear them," he gasped. "All of them. The traitors. The changed ones. They're afraid." "Afraid? Of what?" Sun Wu asked. "Of what's coming," Daeho whispered. The Admiral wasn't lying about that. Something is coming. Something worse than the Nexus. His body relaxed slightly as Minji injected him with another treatment. "I can see their plans," he continued, his voice stronger. "The station at Arcturus. It's not just one. There are 5 more, hidden in other systems. They're building an army." "To fight this new threat?" Sun Wu asked. "No," Daeho said, his eyes clearing. "To join it. To offer humanity as raw material. The Admiral thinks they're creating a new, better form of human. But they're just creating slaves for something else." Minji's scanner beeped. "The liquid is slowing down. The treatment is working." Daeho sat up slowly. "We need to warn Earth. All colonies, everyone. The traitors aren't just betraying Earth now. They're betraying all humanity." "The nearest outpost is 6 hours away," Sun Wu reported. "We can send a full warning from there." "And then?" Minji asked. Daeho stood up, still shaky but determined. "Then we hunt them all down. Every traitor. Every station. We fight for humanity's right to choose its own path." He walked to the window, looking out at the stars as the ship raced through space. "The war was just the beginning," he said quietly. "Now the real fight starts. For the soul of humanity itself." Behind him, his loyal crew stood ready. The hunt for traitors had become something much more, a battle for the future of their entire species. And despite the odds, despite the powerful, enemies both human and alien, Daeho felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Because if there was one thing the war had taught him, it was that humans, when united, could overcome any threat. They would face this new danger together. As humans, not as the twisted creations the traitors were becoming. The hunt continued, and humanity would prevail. The end.